how to get accepted into physical therapy school, breaking it down into steps. What's up, everyone? I'm Janine. I'm a physical therapist, and I help future physical therapists get accepted into physical therapy school. So today's video is completely dedicated to taking you through from start to finish the entire process of how you can actually get accepted into physical therapy school and what do you need to know. So the first thing that I want to draw your attention to is you want to start with doing your own research. So looking up what schools would you even potentially go to. You want to take into consideration a couple of things. So, starting with the obvious is you want to make sure the school is accredited. So is this a CAPD accredited school? And this you can find on each school's website. And that means basically that you qualify to sit down and take the boards exam, which is definitely something we want if we want to do physical therapy, right? We have to pass that boards exam to get our license. On top of this, on their website, you should see what is the percent pass rate, graduation rate and pass rate of that boards exam each year for the past 2 years for each class. This is something you want to consider because it's like shows you, okay, is the school prepping me for what I need to do, And so taking that into consideration is important, as well as, what may this picture look like for you? So what location is it in? What is the tuition of the school going to cost you? What is the cost of living like in that area? Are you going to have to live on campus? Are you going to rent a apartment, or are you going to be living at home? So for me, something that really worked for me was staying in state. I didn't live at home, but I did stay in state, so I was able to pay in state tuition, which made a big difference. But I know several people that didn't do that and did out of state, but they were able to take advantage of many different scholarships and other things that really helped them make it worth it and reasonable. So there's totally options out there. You just have to make sure what is the best fit for you. And so as you're doing your research, you can start to look on the website and look at what are the things that are required for this applying to this program. So, possible GPA requirements, possible GRE, what are the curriculum requirements? So what classes do you need to take in order to apply? Things like that. How many observation hours? So this can vary school to school. Some schools don't require the GRE. Some schools require a certain amount of observation hours. So you can start to write these things down and have a picture in your mind of this is the actual blueprint for what you need to be doing and where your focus is moving forward, right? So that's kind of like a starting point for you. On top of that is starting to manage your time. So now you have a picture of what you need to do and where you need to go, and you can start to reflect on yourself in terms of this is something that no one will tell you, but what is your maybe you are exceed in chemistry and that's not an issue for you. Maybe that is an issue for you. So maybe moving forward, don't try to pair up in one semester chemistry on top of psychology on top of physics and all these hard classes. Take advantage of how you can control your schedule and set yourself up for success based on what that is like for you. I go into depth on this specific topic way more in my online course that is designed to help you get accepted into physical therapy school. It's all these little things that your advisors won't tell you, other people won't tell you, but things that you can actually do to make your life so much easier and make that picture look so much better. I'm going to put the link in my bio down the bio of this video. It's my PT school acceptance system course. You don't want to miss it. It's live right now, so make sure you watch it before I take it down. That's a great tool that you can do at any point along this journey, right? So taking advantage of that, also starting to manage your time well. So, taking advantage of little gaps in your day, and maybe you have an hour here and there in between classes. What can you get done? What study material can you look at? Instead of scrolling your phone 20 minutes before class, maybe start to flip through flashcards. Taking advantage of those little times in the day really help add up the overall picture. This goes into my next topic, is mastering your GPA. So I feel like a lot of students really stress about their GPA, and I think it's so much easier than it really should be. Coming from someone who did struggle from it, my first semester PT school, I had a 2.9. I didn't even have a 3.0. I struggled. I didn't have it figured out. But once I started to learn how to become an effective student and manage my time well and take advantage of other things, I got a 4.0 every single semester, not just one, but every single semester moving forward for the rest of my undergrad life, okay? And so I have a course on this as well. It's my GPA Boost course. It's everything you need to know packaged up into one thing. You can access it in my link, in the link below this. I go through all the things no one's gonna tell you, okay? Basically, just to touch on it, because this prompts a whole nother video. Some things like not being so passive in your study sessions, making sure you're understanding the concepts and then you're teaching those concepts to make sure that the topics sync. Never being a passive student, taking advantage of your school's resources, things like that. So mastering your GPA, but also the art of this is that you don't want to have to be one of those students that spends hours and hours and hours and hours studying for a test. There's a way to go about it where you can have 2 hours of really maximal effective study time, and then you can free up the rest of your time doing other things, which leads me to my next point, and this is going to be getting involved in other experiences to put on your resume. So that's why it's so important to master your GPA, but not have to spend so much time on it, because it isn't also important to get involved in other experiences that can show that you are a well-rounded individual. And so on this topic, I want to make sure you guys are understanding that some of these experiences should definitely have to do with the physical therapy field. So things like being a tutor for anatomy, anything that you have to do that involves anatomy, excellent. Anatomy is the basics. It's the foundation of physical therapy. You just have to know your anatomy. That's just that, right? So getting involved in things like that, being an aide for a PT clinic, doing research with a professor, or anything like doing volunteering at I went to school near New York City, so the New York City Marathon, taking advantage of those experiences. And so the chances are there's a lot more experiences out there in your community and your school. You just have to go out and seek them because they're there, okay? And that's what's going to set you apart. Are you going out and seeking these opportunities, or are you waiting for them to come to you? Because the people that may not get accepted are probably the ones that are waiting for things to come to them. No. You're taking control, you're becoming a go-getter, and you're taking action, and you're finding those opportunities. I want to also talk about the opportunities that have nothing to do with the fields of physical therapy school. So these are also important because it shows that you're a well-rounded applicant and that you are actually, going out there and getting involved in things that you're passionate about. And at the end of the day, we are working with individuals, right? We're working with patients. These are real people that have real interests and hobbies. And that is another way that we can connect to our patients. So whether that's maybe you play an instrument, or you love fishing, or you love hiking, whatever it is, these are things that you are going to be able to connect with on a real human level in the future with your patients. And the people interviewing you and looking at on the other end of the application, they take these into consideration, okay? So don't sleep on this. Get involved in something that you're passionate about, things that, and this is where now you're not going to be such a cookie cutter applicant. You have something unique about you, and use that to your advantage, and that is what they're looking for. They don't want all the same application. They want people that are different and unique. So capitalize on that. My next tip is, observation hours. Yes. So observation hours is something that I think a lot of people misunderstand as well. You want to get involved in a variety of settings. So you definitely want 2 different types, inpatient and outpatient. Inpatient is where the people actually are sleeping there. They're spending the night, like a hospital, a skilled nursing facility, something like that. Whereas outpatient can vary, and that can be in a school. It can be in a clinical setting, like a ortho outpatient setting, or sometimes there's neuro or cardiac outpatient facilities. Pediatrics can be in a hospital or in an outpatient. It can be both. So getting experience in different settings is key. So don't put your eggs all in one basket and do just a hospital for 2,000 hours of observation. But I have 2,000 hours. It looks better, trust me, to have less hours in one setting and more variety. Obviously, that doesn't mean just 5 here, 5 there, 5 here. About 15 to 20 minimum in each setting. And so on top of that, I want to also touch on the GRE. So the GRE is something that I want to make a whole nother video on. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel to keep an eye out for this next video, because I feel like this is something I really stressed about and that I actually really didn't need to stress about. But the GRE I feel like they're starting to do away with, like, a lot of schools I've noticed are not even requiring it anymore after COVID, but it is something that they want to see, like, because you are going to have to take a standardized test for your boards exam. So, they kind of want to see, like, how are you doing for this? It's not so intense, but if you want to score around average. I scored slightly below average and I was totally fine, but I did have a strong application in other areas. So, if you do have a slightly below average or below average, it's completely, don't panic. You can retake it, okay? You can also go back and you can start to apply and then go back and update your application with your updated GRE scores. That's something that they take into consideration. So, I think just my biggest study tips, get the book, do practice tests. Again, I'm going to make another video on all my study tips for the GRE, so make sure you follow me. But yeah, I wouldn't spend too much time on this. Everyone is a little bit different as well. So I know those people that are they couldn't even pick up a book once and they do amazing on the GRE. So it just depends on what type of person you are. Reflect on where you stand and how much time you might need. And then my last step is the interview. So the interview is like a really fun thing. You want to look at it like when you go to the interview, it's extremely nerve-wracking, but you want to look at the stats, okay? They only give a certain percentage of the people an interview. So if you got to the point where you got an interview, take that as, I already got accepted into this school. I am here to see if I even like it. Have a mindset like that. That way you're confident, you feel comfortable, and your answers to the interview questions are going to flow that much more. Trust me. Don't be arrogant and overconfident though. Be prepared as well. So one thing that I'm going to put in the bio as well is my free downloadable workbook. So PT School Interview Workbook. What I did to prep was I wrote down every single thing that was on my resume, and for each thing I wrote 4 to 5 experiences or qualities, characteristic traits, or challenges that one experience helped me overcome. So example, I was a tutor for anatomy. So not only did I have my own classes and stuff going on, but I had to worry about this. So I had to really manage my time well. Second of all, I now am in a position of leadership because I'm working with other students. So leadership. 3, I'm working with people that have many different types of learning qualities and communication styles. So I have to now adapt my teaching styles to their learning and communication styles to many different people, and they're all different. I had to sit through anatomy class again, so I strengthened my anatomy skills. So go through it like that. That way that when you're on the interview, you can adapt to any question that's on the spot and you're not feeling stuck, or like it just flows that much easier where you're not being rehearsed, but you're able to get your point across. And I have a total other video on this, just the interview, as well as I'm going to be posting more. So stay tuned for that. And that concludes my step-by-step process on how to apply and get accepted into physical therapy school. I'm also doing a free masterclass. We're going over everything you need to know in order to get accepted into physical therapy school. So if you want to sign up for that, it's on June 29th at 1 p.m. Click the link in my bio. PT School application masterclass. It's free. What do you have to lose? Don't miss it. I will see you there.